Hi, I'm Scott Cosenza, along with Graham Noble, Dave Patterson, Lisa K. Donner, and John Clark, and this is the Conservative 5, Liberty Nation's online video news program. President Trump has directed the remodeling of the White House to include an ample ballroom space. The hue and cry from his political enemies has been outsized. Has this act shaken the very core of our collective experiment in self-government? Or is it a giant nothing burger? Or somewhere in between? New Mexico Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury didn't just read about the destruction. She put on her walking shoes and stopped by 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to see the project for herself. Let's celebrate her grit and courage.
I just got off a plane from Albuquerque and I had to come down and see it for myself. And I'm outside of the entrance, the security entrance to the East Wing, and the East Wing is literally completely gone. There's nothing left. From here, all you can see is nothing. Just from here straight to the White House, to the house itself. They managed to literally tear down the entire East Wing in 4 days. You know, and it's such a metaphor for what's happening right now. Our democracy, Constitution, the rule of law. 4 days. Literally 4 days. Donald Trump tore down the East Wing in 4 days. This is literally one of the most historic buildings in the United States. No permit, no permission, no congressional oversight, no appropriations. He just went and did it.
John Clark, is the administration on any shaky ground constitutionally here? If Congress has the power of the purse, don't they have to approve any expenditure?
Well, I think that is in debate, and many on the Democrat side are claiming that the administration is acting illegally, but really these are private funds for a public purpose, and most of the laws are around preventing the exact opposite, using public funds for private gain. Senator Blumenthal of Connecticut has alleged that this will allow unfair influence by donors, and yet the money's going to improve a public asset, which will be there for future generations. So I don't think there are a lot of teeth in it. Under Article 1, Section 8, Congress has the power to levy taxes. Under Section 9, it has the power to do the expenditures. I'm not aware of any lawsuits that have filed. The Anti-Deficiency Act may apply. It seems that it would apply to executive actions, but once again, that's geared towards expending public funds. So I'm not sure there are any real teeth there, though you might have some insights.
You know, it's surprising to see such criticism from Senator Blumenthal, is usually, you know, such a team player for for any new Trump initiative. Lisa, just because something's legal, that doesn't mean it's advisable. Does this give you the ick? And if Barack Hussein Obama got his frenemies to fund some construction project you didn't like, would your answer be the same?
Well, this would only give me the ick, Scott, if it hadn't been done by Jackie Kennedy, who got the Rose Garden funded by Paul Mellon and his wife Bunny, and Nancy Reagan. It was Nancy Reagan who got a lot of private funding for new dishes and china in the White House. So, you know, this has been going on for a long time. Also, I do believe Jackie Kennedy's renovation of the White House, which was extensive, and no Republicans were walking through each room saying, oh my God, look at the demolition of X. You know, that was done with public and private funds too. She raised a lot of money for the White House.
One can only wonder what Stansbury would have thought walking past the James Madison reconstruction after the British burned the building to the ground in 1812. You can imagine that she would have had a significant case of the vapors.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it.
Dave, you stepped on my question for Graham Noble, which was that he has fought for the crown against insurrectionist colonists before. And I was wondering, did we just see Trump basically finish the job that they tried in the War of 1812 to demolish this building?
No, but apparently Eric Swalwell wants to revisit the demolition of the White House. He's calling for whoever wants to run on the Democratic ticket in 2028, he's demanding that they pledge on day one to demolish this ballroom. But it's of course it's so silly. I mean, previous presidents have put in bowling alleys and swimming pools and a basketball court. A president who doesn't even know how to play basketball put a basketball court in there, and this is the richest and most powerful country in the world. And when we have state dinners here, we have to put up a tent and get some folding chairs and tables out for a state dinner. The White House should have a wonderful facility like this to host foreign dignitaries and big functions and so on. I think it's great.
I'll just weigh in and say I disagree with you, Graham. I think that a tent or less is a great thing for our leaders to go ahead and contend with. I just can't abide the hypocrisy. I just can't pretend that if this was Barack Obama literally raising the and making it the Black House or something else, it wouldn't be greeted with hosannas and celebratory lauded. Instead of having the random architect who's critical, you'd have the ones that are favorable. By the way, just a note, that video from Representative Stansbury went on for over 4 minutes, and not once does she turn the camera to show the construction. It was so outrageous, she couldn't bring herself to show her audience. So this must be having some political wins. And I'll ask anybody who has an opinion about it to weigh in. This must be getting good political wins for them from something, or else why would they engage in it?
Yeah, I think one of the things that always has to be taken into the calculus here, and that is that no taxpayer money is being spent.
Yes.
So I would submit that the anti-deficiency rules, which require you to not obligate funds for which there is no appropriation, wouldn't apply, because not only is there no appropriation, but there's no authorization. There doesn't have to be. You've got individual donors who are making a significant addition to the White House. And I think that's a good thing.
Let me just say one thing.
They didn't pull a permit.
We have a president in office who knows how to build things. This is what he does for a living. This is how he's made millions upon billions of dollars. So, why are we picking on him? Of course, you have to demolish before you rebuild. I mean, has anybody ever put in a new bathroom? It's a holy mess until they start fixing it up again, but they have to demolish.
I think it's worth noting, that on the left, within the left wing echo chamber, this whole business about this ballroom being privately funded is not. People don't believe that. On the left, people literally believe that Trump is stealing the SNAP money in order to build the
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the best way to frame it, I guess. If you can juxtapose those two, the deprivation of basic necessities and a luxurious looking mock-up of a ballroom, that's a nice place to be politically.
Right. And why do they believe that? Because they're told that by the left-wing media. That's why.
Yep.
I think, too, that you look at scale here. If you were looking at and comparing scale, Harry Truman by far exceeded just simply putting up a ballroom. He totally gutted the inside of the entire White House and spent his time in Blair House for about 3.5 years.
Thank you so much, panel. I think I've had a reputation of not trusting anything in government generally, but if even Donald Trump's enemies don't claim that he came in over budget and over time on construction projects. So perhaps it's the one weak point for them to criticize. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. I'm your host, Scott Cosenza, sitting in for Ellen Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today for the latest news and commentary. Free thinking, free speech, LibertyNation.com.